Alpine Touch has been part of the fabric of Montana for more than 60 years. Decades ago, Russell Street started selling his touch of magic in whitefish. Years later, Alpine Touch's all-purpose seasoning remains a favorite. It's tailgating season, and there's no better way to spice up your grill before a Griz game than with Alpine Touch. Go to alpinetouch.com now and use the checkout code ESPN10 for a 10% discount on your order. Alpine Touch is here to keep your mouth watering all football season. Alpine Touch, Montana's special spice.
Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any town pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
And we will start with Matt Zimmer from Sioux Falls Live.
Hey guys, hope you had a good Christmas. Welcome back. I guess I'll just ask all three to weigh in. What's the benefit, do you think, of having been through all this before? You know, you guys went down last year, same schedule, same sort of routine. You've obviously been to Frisco now. Just how is it going to help you to kind of be able to take sort of a business-like approach here going down there, having been through all this exactly last season?
For me, I think it takes away the big awe factor of kind of when you're there. And we tried to minimize that as much as we could last year, but obviously when the fans are all there, you're kind of in awe a little bit. But this year, I mean, we kind of know what it takes, know who's going to be there. So I feel like that's probably one of the biggest things.
I don't know if there's a ton of that, just because I think it's cool to soak it all in and take in the moment. We're one of 2 teams left playing. We're blessed to be in this position, and we just want to take it in and absorb. For me and some other guys, this is kind of our last hoorah, so we just want to take it all in.
Yeah, I think it just takes away kind of the uncertainty of, you know, what it's like being down there a couple times. You kind of know the schedule by now. We're going to have a pretty similar schedule to last year, so that'll definitely be nice.
One more for me. You guys have been in an underdog situation before. You're not in that situation this time. You know, Montana's the underdog. I'm sure you guys are aware, you know, the point spread favors you guys significantly. A lot of people are talking about just, you know, what a dominant team you are, and everyone's telling Montana that they don't have a chance to win. How do you guys handle that, knowing that you've been, you know, the shoe's been on the other foot before? What's it like, the mindset just coming into this game, knowing what heavy favorites you are?
I mean, it's been the talk all year. I mean, we've always had the target on our backs this entire season, even last year as well. But, I mean, it's exactly where you want to be. You don't want to be anywhere else other than number one. But right now there's just 2 teams left, and we're just going to try and be the team on top at the end.
Yeah, one of our team goals at the beginning of the year was eliminate distractions. And we've kind of had to do that throughout the year. You know, everyone's going to tell you how good you are every week. So we just got to keep doing, you know, one of our main goals is eliminate those distractions. So just put your head down and go to work.
Ultimately, that's why you play the game. There's favorites, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Any team can win on any given day, and especially in a national championship. Montana's a really good team. They fly around, and so it's just all that stuff kind of goes out the window. I mean, it's who's the best team on that day, and we got to be ready to play our best.
Thanks, fellas.
We'll go next to Tanner Castora.
Hey guys, I know this, and this is for any of you three to answer. I know this is before any of you guys were here, but are you aware of the history that you guys have against Montana?
I think we've heard of it. I don't think we dive too much into it, just because I don't think that plays a role on the game today. And none of us were here for it. And so we just got to be out. I mean, there's no extra motivation. It's the national championship. If you can't get up for that, what can you? And so we're going to be ready to play our best, and we're excited.
And then for each of you guys, just curious, this is probably the longest break you've had away from the everyday grind of the season, getting to go home for Christmas. What did you guys do to stay somewhat locked in and keep your body in good shape and rhythm?
I mean, for me, I got home, got to work with my quarterback coach a little bit, through a couple days at home, and I live with some of the guys close to me, like Patrick Hoffman, Mike Morgan. So I went and got to throw with them, lift with them, and just continuously try to get better over the break.
Yeah, I think most guys, light workout, a little bit of running, but it was also nice to kind of get away from football for a little bit. It's nice to have a little bit of a break mentally, I guess, and just watching games instead of actually preparing for one. So just kind of light lifting, run, and get as best prepared as we can.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Next question to Alvaro Torres with No Huddle.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day and I hope you had a great Christmas. Well, my first question is to Mark. Mark, first, congratulations for your being a finalist on the Walter Payton Award. A little late, but it's the first time we talk. Well, would you say this is the best defense you will have faced all season? And how much does it help to have already faced some dominant defenses within your conference?
Yeah, no, this is going to be a great defense we got going against us, and they got a great guys up front. They got some great linebackers as well, and I'm really excited to play them. I know our offensive line is. I know our skill guys are as well. And it helps a lot playing in such a tough conference with the Missouri Valley, just because you got a tough defense that you're facing every single week, and they have so much variety throughout our conference, and so we're kind of ready for different things that Montana is going to be able to throw at us. But what's great too is we got one of the best defenses in the country right at home here, and get to play against them every day at practice and go one-on-ones, try to get each other better as much as we can.
Well, you talk about offensive line. My next question is to Mason. How much pride do you take in how dominant your offensive line is throughout this season? And is there a statement you will be trying to make in this game aside from it being the title game?
We always take pride in our work. I think that's the nature of the position. It's not the glorious and glamour, but there's merit and fun in seeing our other players and other teammates succeed, and we want to be able to put them in the best possible situation. And ultimately, we try to go out there and make a statement every week. We want to go out there and play our best football, and so I don't think that changes in any way.
Well, my last question is to Adam. Adam, what does being the leader of the best defense in the FCS, like Mark said, mean to you? And what would you say has been the key to upholding such a high standard for multiple seasons now?
Well, first of all, I think we got a ton of leaders on the defense. There's not just one in particular. We take a lot of pride in playing as a unit, so everybody else's success is we take pride in the team success rather than individual stuff, and pretty low ego defense, and we just want to see our team succeed.
Well, guys, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great game in Frisco, and go Sharks.
We'll move to Chris Shad from the Brookings Register for the next question.
Hey, this question's for Adam. I know the defense has been great all season long, but it seems like you guys have taken another leap to be an elite defense in the past month with 3 shutouts in your last 5 games. What do you think has helped you guys go from great to elite over the past month or so?
I think we just take a lot of pride in doing our responsibility. We're not always looking, to make the big play. We're going to do our job, be sound, and when the plays come to you, when they're there, they're there. But if you have to do something else to make a play for somebody else, everybody's willing to do that. And I think, like I said in that last question, is a pretty low ego. We don't really care a lot about individual success necessarily. We just care about playing sound defense and playing as one.
The other question I have for you is, Montana, they're able to create some big plays. They got some playmakers on the outside. They got a dual threat quarterback. What is the biggest challenge that the Grizzlies present to your defense to keep that streak going on January 7th?
Yeah, from watching them on TV and stuff, you can see they play really hard. They've got some good running backs that run physically, and a QB that can, extend plays. So, it helps playing like that. Those teams in the Missouri Valley have kind of pieces of stuff we're going to see in the championship game, and just kind of piece it all together. and try to keep them under control.
Thanks, Adam.
Yep.
Next question to Zach McKinnell from FCS.
Hope you guys are all doing well. My first question is for Mason. The defensive line the defensive offensive line matchups can be huge in this one. They got the Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year and defensive tackle. What are some things that you've seen on film that are going to present some challenges for your unit, and how are you guys preparing to face those guys coming Frisco?
Yeah, we got to be ready for a lot of looks. They're very multiple with their box and how they align, and they play super hard. That's one of the most impressive things. You know, week to week, you think teams play hard, but these guys play extremely hard, and you can tell that it's definitely coached. And they take pride in what they do, and they fly around. They play physical ball, and we're excited for the task.
And then my final question to all three of you guys. Last year, you guys break through, win the national championship. You see this in this age of college football. A lot of guys will hit the portal. A lot of guys will explore other opportunities. You guys return. I mean, everybody. Talk a little bit about just the brotherhood you guys have formed and why you guys all thought it was important to come back and win another national championship, which is very rare in this day and age of college football.
I think the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You see a lot of these guys going into the portal, and a lot of them go to be a depth guy at a bigger level. And there's a ton of reasons. I mean, the community of Brookings is amazing. Our coaching staff's awesome. Our facilities are great. And just the brotherhood that we have with one another. I don't think there's many like it. And to take your chances in the portal, to see if there's something better, I don't think that's anything anybody in this program should ever risk, because I don't think there is a ton better. And it's a crazy world we live in today, but I'm glad we got a lot of guys who really love it here.
I mean, I got to give it up to the culture of this team. There's just so many guys that want to get better, and just the relationships that we have. We've been building these relationships for such a long time, and just some great time in the locker rooms together, hanging out outside of football. But one of the biggest things is we're out here competing for national championships every single year. So you don't really get that with every team that you can possibly find in the portal, which is, I think, one of the big things as well. And everyone wants to be a part of a championship-winning culture.
Yeah, I think those guys said it best. We just have a lot of fun. Most of the best times aren't even football related, whether it's locker room, outside of practice. We just have a bunch of guys that love each other and don't want to leave for anything else.
Thank you, guys. Good luck.
Next question to Craig Haley from Stats Perform.
Thanks, Jason. Gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Earlier was mentioned about blocking out the outside noise surrounding the program during this winning. What are the steps to doing that? How do you actually do that? Do you talk about it as a group, individually? Tell me about how you block out the noise.
I don't think a lot of the outside noise needs to be talked about in the locker room. And there's a lot of guys, and it's kind of our culture. It's an unspoken thing that nobody really talks about it. We just want to figure out ways to get better each and every single day. And ultimately, everybody knows it's a big game. It's a national championship, and everybody's excited. Whether we're favored or not, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
I'd kind of say, too, is that our strength coach, mental strength coach, does a really great job of, if there's obviously going to be some things that end up getting talked about a little bit, but he does a great job of kind of talking through some of those things, talking through different scenarios, so it kind of just negates the different factors that could possibly be the outcome of those things, and he does a great job of just talking through those things.
Yeah, those guys kind of hit it on the head, but we just try to be the best version of ourselves, regardless of what anybody else is saying, whether we're the best, they're saying we're the worst. We're just trying to be our best, and that's what we, hang our hat on.
Have you or a loved one been charged or accused of a crime? If so, the stress can leave anyone feeling helpless and alone. But you don't have to be alone. Hi, I'm Dave Maldonado, and I've successfully defended Montanans for over a decade in these situations. So if you're tired of being scared, let's get you prepared. To see how, visit BigSkyDefender.com today.
You are not alone. Visit BigSkyDefender.com to find out more on how you can fight back against local and federal criminal charges.
Do you guys feel a difference this year, having been through this several times going back to the spring game, but just, the build up to the game this time around, you've been through it?
Personally, I don't feel any difference. I'm like a kid in the candy store. I'm so excited for this game, ready to go back down there. I mean, it's always a lot of fun. I always get a couple extra weeks with the guys, especially such a great group of seniors as well. I'm really excited, and it feels the same. I still get that kid joy, you can say.
One last quick one. How does the grass field in Frisco compare to other grass fields you've played on throughout your lives?
I liked it a lot more than the baseball field we played on this year, but it's been pretty good. Last year I think it was really good. Just the footing and stuff. Obviously with that rain, it was a little tougher in the spring season, but I think it's soft, and I don't know. I don't really have any problems with it.
No, I don't have any problems. I kind of like it a little bit better than the turf itself. I feel like it's like a little more forgiving, and it just feels cleaner, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it'll depend how the bowl games before us,
Yeah.
take care of it. But it seems like it's always in really good shape, honestly.
Sure. Gentlemen, thank you and best of luck.
We'll move to Grant Sweeter with Kello TV for the next question.
Hey guys, you guys talked about all year, about how you could maybe repeat as champions, and your answer every week was, we're going to take it one game at a time. Well, here you are, right? You've done that 1 week at a time. How do you feel that's paid off? All that hard work 1 week at a time to finally say, hey, we do have a chance to repeat as champs.
I feel like it's pretty surreal that we're already at this spot. Kind of seems like this season's really gone by quickly, and yeah, so next one is the big one. We've done what we've wanted to and putting ourselves in the position to, achieve goals that we set at the beginning of the year, but it's honestly flown by this year.
Talking about a little bit earlier too is just the ability to eliminate distractions and kind of continuing to focus on one game at a time and focus on that 1 week. And now I guess this is the last game of the season, and this is the one team that we have to focus on. So we still have that same mentality that it's just one game at a time, and this is the last one.
This one goes to Mason or Adam or whichever one. But, you guys have accomplished a lot as this group, and you talked about last time how it was your last game at Dana J, but now this is the last one. How does that kind of sink in, and how much does that add to you guys for this game?
I don't know if it really adds a lot. We like to go out there and kind of do what we do regardless of what's going on. But it's just, for me and some other guys, you're just trying to soak it all in, live up the last moments as best as you can, and just enjoy the ride. I've had a heck of an experience here, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Thanks, guys.
Our next question will come from Coulter Nuanez out in Montana.
All right, guys, thanks for taking a minute. A couple for me. First of all, this for all three of you, what has been the most challenging part of chasing a second straight national championship?
I think it's a lot of exterior factors. The media and all these things, I feel like they try to create something necessarily a little bit to write about. Ultimately, we're just going in there and we're competing our tails off every day. And going against our defense all the time is what makes us better. And I don't know. I think just sticking together in this transfer portal world and all that stuff has been kind of the most difficult part.
I would say just eliminating complacency. Once you win one, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, we did it. But it's just as hard to, not get complacent and keep working towards that second one. So I feel like we've done a good job of that and just trying to get better every single day.
Does Montana remind you of anybody you guys have played this year?
Defensively, I think they do a lot of similar stuff to kind of what Villanova did, at least in the box. They're very multiple. They play super hard, and they play physical football. it'll be they obviously present a bunch of different challenges and different stuff, but that was probably the most comparison, I would say.
Mark, from your perspective, they run such different fronts, but they also run a lot of coverage on the back end too. So what's that part like, just prepared as a quarterback?
I mean, those couple things make it a little more difficult just because they like to do different disguises. They like to change it up out back there. They don't always run the same things every single play. But I mean, with all these three extra weeks that we got lots of time to try and dissect that a little bit more and kind of find different things. And it almost makes it a little more fun for me just trying to find different tendencies that they do on certain down and distances and different things like that.
And Mason, you mentioned the front being very multiple. 99, though, seems like he's kind of the key. How much can he sort of show you just in terms of what they're doing?
He aligns pretty much the same on most plays, but he does a lot of different things, and he does a good job of not giving those movements away. And he plays with a super high motor, and it's fun to watch on tape.
And Adam, you mentioned the quarterback being able to extend plays. What's the challenge like in preparing for that? I know you've seen that a lot this year. It seems like a pretty common thing in college football.
Yeah, I mean, it'll come down to our D-line rising to the occasion, keeping him contained. And I feel like all year, even into last year, they've done a really good job of doing that. So it'll be a big challenge for the D-line, and I know they're ready for it.
And last one for me, for all three of you guys, what's this year been like under Coach Rogers? Because I got to know Coach Stig pretty well, and I mean, what a great guy he is, but Coach Rogers seems like he's sort of carried it on himself. So, I mean, what's this year been like for you guys under this new coach?
I think it's been awesome. He's super relatable just having played here. And he expects a lot out of us, and we wouldn't want it any other way. And I think it's awesome how much he doesn't allow complacency within our program. He wants us all to keep growing and reach our full potential. And he makes that happen. On days when guys are dragging a little bit, he gets us up and does a good job leading the group.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Having some issues. All right, next question will go to Zach Borg from Dakota News Now.
Hey, Adam. Curious with Junior Bergen. I know you're no doubt hearing everybody telling you to tell your punter not to punt to him. But that aside, he's been pretty dynamic offensively. He's kind of to borrow a nickname for an old player in the NFL from Dante Hall, he's kind of their X factor in that he can run, throw a little bit, receive. Is he a bit of a unique challenge for you guys defensively that you haven't necessarily seen a player like this who can kind of impact things at multiple levels?
Yeah, he's definitely, an outstanding player, and it'll definitely be something that we need to, key into and always know where he's at. So whenever you have a guy like that can make explosive plays, you always got to have an eye on him with somebody. So as the week goes on and we start to get more of our game plan in, he'll definitely be a big part of it.
For all three of you, I know there was talk throughout the while that maybe this national championship would be a conference rematch, whether it was North Dakota State, whether it was maybe even USD. I know you don't necessarily care about who the opponent is when you get there, but now that you are here, is it kind of nice to have something different, a totally unique matchup like this in Montana? And can be for any one of you guys.
I mean, I think it's nice. It's nice to have a different change and kind of see a new team down there. I mean, we're really excited to have a chance to play them. They've had such a great history in their program as well, so it's going to be kind of cool to have two great history of programs playing against each other.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Move on to Andrew Holton from the Brookings Register.
Got a couple for Adam. You've missed, games now in multiple seasons with injuries. What was that kind of process like, missing games, and what's it like being able to play for a national championship once again after having gone through that?
It's tough. You train all year, you train all summer, and then, have unfortunate injury that, keeps you out of the game. And that's definitely tough. But everybody's stepped up, throughout the year, regardless of what position, and stepped in when we've had injuries. And, it's a bummer when you can't be out there and play with your guys, but it's nice to be back. And, nothing that compares to, being out, you're at your lowest point, so hopefully, highest point at the end of the season. So it's definitely, two extremes.
You mentioned the, kind of cohesiveness on the defense, but specifically, you guys at linebacker, you mentioned how guys stepping up. How much do you think that cohesiveness really helps you guys as a unit to be successful?
Yeah, it's awesome. We have a lot of fun as a defense, and that's been one of the main things I feel like, keeps us so close is we have a lot of fun at practice, and especially in the linebacker unit. I don't think we've had a closer group of guys as far as, a linebacker room, and that always helps a ton, playing great defense.
Thanks, Adam.
Go next to Ian Sachs with Kello TV.
Hey, guys. You hear me? Okay. My question is really for any of you guys. How have you seen Coach Rogers grow over the course of his first year as head coach?
Obviously, him and Stig are completely different people in their own rights, and they both do their different things that really work. But I feel like he's just been doing a great job of just being able to be a great communicator with all of us, especially as captains up front, and kind of asking us the vibes of the team, I guess, and understanding what we want. And I feel like it's a great thing that kind of what Mason was saying earlier, that he's been through this program. He knows what it takes, and he's really easily to be relatable to us as well.
We'll take one final question or a group of questions here with our student athletes, and they'll come from Darren Wallace with Midco Sports.
Is it okay? I have one for each. Is that too much? I just want one for, okay, yeah. So guys, I'll start with Mark. Obviously, watching you guys from the sidelines this year, one of the things that I just seemed to notice was your relationship with Chase, and it's not common. I think you see the quality of a relationship that a starting quarterback and the backup have, but he got to see more time this year, and you guys are always doing your celebration after touchdowns and gritting on the sidelines and stuff, and you've also both dealt with some serious knee injuries and things like that, so I'm sure that might even strengthen your bond a little bit. Could you talk a little bit about just how you and Chase have built up your relationship and how that's maybe helped you find success on and off the field?
Yeah, and especially when he first came in and he ended up having that injury. I really felt for him. It was really tough to see that, just because he's such a great athlete and such a hard worker, that just to see that happen to him was really tough. And me and him kind of talked through the different processes, and obviously he's done it before and been through that process, but trying to help him out in any way I can. But eventually when he came back, me and him were meeting together, trying to throw with our guys, throw with our receivers. Just slowly kind of building that relationship together. Then in the film room, then when we're watching film together, he's pointing out different things that I'm not seeing, and I'm helping him kind of just trying to learn a little bit more about how to watch film, how to become a better quarterback. And I think one of the biggest things is being able to support each other and help your team grow as one unit. Because there's going to be a day that I'm not going to be here anymore, and he's going to have a chance to step up and be the quarterback here. So trying to leave my legacy a little bit too, and that's one thing that Coach Rogers always talks about to some of us older guys, is really trying to branch out to the younger guys on this team and really try to leave our legacy so we can continue to this great stride in our program.
All right, thanks, Mark. And then for you, Mason, there's been a lot made of the 605 Hogs. The running backs rave about you guys, and it seemed like every single week, one of you was earning, lineman of the week honors, offensive player of the week honors and such. Can you just talk about just what that means to you, just being considered, one of the 605 Hogs, how much pride you guys take in being, such a cohesive unit and just the success that you've been able to have over the past few years?
Yeah, we take a ton of pride in it. And Coach Olson has done a tremendous job of taking our room to new heights. He's been phenomenal. And just being around the guys and working extremely hard every single day it's awesome to see our unit have success. And it's awesome to see the other guys have success, really, because that's what shows up is having our running backs and run the ball well and Mark throw the ball well. So it's really cool to see our teammates have success because we know we're a small part of it.
Thanks, Mason. And one more for you, Adam. I know someone already kind of asked you, you dealt with some injuries, kind of, we're a little frustrated early on in the season, kind of being in and out of the lineup. But one thing that I had asked, I think Mark and Tucker and some other guys, was about, what it is that brought you guys back. Would you say that maybe your support during the injury and, just some of those frustrations are a part of the reason that you and so many guys found yourself coming back to kind of run it back this year and make the run that you have this season?
Yeah, definitely. When you're injured, it's really stinks that you're not able to be out there on the field, but you never feel like you're not a part of the team anymore. Everybody's really checking in on you and seeing how you're doing and stuff like that. So even though you're not on the field, I feel like this brotherhood's so deep that you don't really feel like you're missing out like team-wise stuff. So that's been a huge part of both seasons have been injured, and yeah, definitely a part of coming back and stuff like that.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Jason.
All right, this will conclude our session with our three student athletes, and we will conclude with Coach Rogers here in just a minute.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes, ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
Yeah, I hope everybody had an awesome Christmas break. I know it was much needed for this football team. Coming off the semifinal game, I felt like we had played our best football up to this point, and we need to carry it over into the national championship. This team has done everything that we expected to do and wanted to do, but we have one game left to finish. And we're excited for the challenge. It's a really good football team. Really aggressive on defense, play a physical brand of football. All of their guys you see constantly pursuing to the football the right way and with the right physicality. And offensively, they got playmakers on the outside. They got dynamic running back. Their quarterback is a very gifted athlete that has honestly kept them in some games just with his ability to extend plays and take their shots to their wide receivers. And then special teams-wise, they've been explosive. Junior Bergen has been outstanding, and they play extremely hard on that in that phase of the game. So we're going to reset ourselves, and we spent time kind of focusing on ourselves and trying to clean up technique, and we're excited to get into the prep of Montana and try to deliver our best down in Texas.
Take questions for Coach Rogers, beginning with Alvaro Torres from No Huddle.
Hey, Coach Rogers. I hope you're having a great day. How was your Christmas?
It was awesome. How was yours?
Really good, with family on Christmas Eve and on Christmas also with the same part of the family. So I'm glad to hear that. Well, first, congratulations on reaching the national championship game on Frisco. And, well, we know that that's your standard. We know that's your standard, but you look emotional after the game. Do you ever stop and think about the fact that you have reached the national championship game in your first year as a head coach? And what does that mean to you at your alma mater?
I think it's a special moment to look at and take the time to reflect that, it is my first year, but I didn't get in coaching to make it about myself. My emotion stems from the experiences that our players have. And I'm blessed to be the head coach here. I'm blessed to coach this team with the roster that's in place. And we as coaches need to work extremely hard to give our best to our players because they deserve our best. They've been awesome all year as far as listening to the message and delivering their best, and we need to do the same thing.
Well, what was your initial feeling after seeing Montana's win against the Bison, and what stands out the most to you about them?
Yeah, I just thought this is the next team that we're playing. I have history with both, but we would have been excited to play anybody. They're a really well-coached football team. I think that's been proven over the years of coach's tenure there. He's phenomenal skill on the perimeter is one of the first things that showed up, and just how hard they play. They're a resilient group. They've had multiple games where they've battled to the wire and they figure out a way to win, and that right there in itself is the sign of a championship program. So we're well aware of who we're playing and the physicality that's going to be needed to win this football game, and we need to make sure we do everything we can in the time being to be able to get that done.
Well, my last question is, how do you keep a team this dominant, motivated, keep on proving how good they are actually, how good they are actually are, and never let their foot off the gas?
Yeah, I think we have a bunch of driven individuals. They chose South Dakota State for a reason. We painted a vision for them when they signed here, and we haven't relaxed as coaches or gotten complacent. There's ways to get better, and if you say that you want to be elite, you have to be able to be elite day to day and take your work very serious. So we do when we're on the field and we have fun, and you just heard from the guys, the connection is through the players and kind of allowing our players to be themselves amongst the team. And I would say the players here are really special. So blessed to be the head coach here.
Well, thank you for your time, Coach, and good luck on Frisco, and have a great end of the year.
Move next to Zach Borg with Dakota News Now.
Coach, on average, how often has somebody told you not to punt to Junior Bergen in this upcoming game?
Well, I've seen him, and he's dynamic. We need to be aware of where he's at when he's on offense because he is a big play threat every time he touches the ball. But we got to do our best to say you just can't kick to somebody. He may touch the ball at any point. We got to tackle, and we got to do our part. And he reminds me a lot of Cade Johnson, who we had here a couple years ago, who's still in the NFL. So nothing that he has done is shocking with the skill set in which he has. He's a great player, and he'll create challenges. We just need to respond.
Is their offense a little unique to defend in terms of what you've seen through conference play? Obviously, he's, like you said, he's like a Cade, a little bit of an X factor in what he can do in terms of run, pass, and receive. Gilman's obviously good, the quarterback. They seem to be a little bit – they have some versatility. They're a little different dynamic, whatever you want to call it. Are they a little unique to defend for you guys?
I wouldn't say unique. They have great talent, and they're really physical, and they do similar things that we've seen, and they do some things that we haven't seen. They play with extremely wide splits up front, and at times that they don't. So we're going to need to adjust in the game. Nothing that we come out with will always be perfect. We're going to have to adapt and see what they're doing and see how they're attacking us on defense and adjust. So it's going to be a 4-quarter game. We know that. But, yeah, they have great players. Their quarterback, their running back, their wide receivers, they're a special group. So we're well aware of who we're playing.
And finally, obviously, you've talked a lot with the guys, the older guys here, about leaving their legacy. And certainly for that group that you played with in 2009 that helped build this whole program, in a way, everything that's come since is that group's legacy, and every other group that kind of helped build this program. If we'd gone back 14 years ago and said, this is what the program will be to you as a senior and all your teammates from that group, would you said, yeah, this is pretty much what we'd like to see it become one day?
Yeah, I think that's what we set out to do when we came here. I envisioned being the best team in the country when I committed here. Does it take time? It took longer than I expected. It took years of heartache. But it took a consistent approach of effort and toughness and will and finding the right kids to want to compete and do it consistently at a high level day in and day out. We have that. And it means the world to me. It's been years in the making. It's just not this one team. Because a team year to year is made up of accumulation of years in which they've put into this already. This senior class is special because of the years of work that has gone into this. And it means the world to me to leave this senior class out on it's one last game, and we need to finish on the right note.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll go to Matt Zemmer, Sioux Falls Live.
Jimmy, Mark Gronowski's been your starting quarterback for 3 years, and he's taken you to Frisco 3 times. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that Mark did that all by himself or anything, but just what does that say about what he's brought to this team, the it factor, so to speak, that he's had as your quarterback?
Yeah, I think the it factor is Mark. He's a winner. He doesn't ever feel like he's down, and the moment's never too big for him, and he doesn't get rattled. I think that's a rare trait, and I think it's really hard to find, and I think if you try to look for it, you'll fail more than you end up right. Mark had all the intangibles. We got to know his family in recruiting. We felt like he was the right fit. He's a well-rounded individual. It's not just football. He's, really good in school, too, and he's going to have success out when football's done for him. And he's just a great leader, worker, teammate. The guys love him, and that was from day one. He had the moxie to lead this team with an extreme level of focus when he stepped on the field to change from friend to competitor, and that's rare. It's really rare. I think more young guys these days are caught up in how do I fit in, and rather than coming here for a reason and competing to be the best. And he did that, and then had the moxie to show an older team at that time that he was the right fit. And then with that comes reps, and reps are invaluable. So he's taken full advantage of the opportunity that's been presented to him, and he's ran with it. And I'd say he's probably the greatest quarterback that's ever played at South Dakota State just because he wins. And we're blessed to have him.
How much are you guys benefiting from the fact that you were just here last year, just as far as you can kind of go down there with the exact same routine and not be in any sense of figuring things out? You just go down there, same kind of business you took care of last year.
Yeah, I think the routine part is a big deal, just because I believe in routine and habits. So yeah, I don't know if it's an advantage, but we'll feel more comfortable that we've been down there a couple times. Yeah.
That's all I got, Jim. Good luck. Thanks.
We'll go next to Zach McKinnell with FCS Football Central.
Coach, hope you're doing well. My first question has to do defensively. Over the first 3 games, you guys did not record a sack, but have recorded double-digit sacks in almost every game since. What's been the biggest change that you've seen in your front seven and your defensive line to generate pressure on opposing quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think if you looked at last year, too, you'd see the same exact thing. I think when you watch this on film, you may think, I got to get the ball off. And I got to get the ball out of my hands quickly. And we got to move the pocket. And we got to dink and dunk. And then you realize that doesn't work. And you go back to kind of what you do as an offense. And you don't try to mimic other people. But, yeah, that was the same thing last year. The world made a big deal about us not having sacks early. I never said one thing about us having sacks because I'd already experienced that the year prior. Sacks come. Quarterback hurries are just as good. tackles for loss are just as good. Impacting the quarterback and moving him off of a path has an impact on the game. And just because the first 3 games didn't lead to sacks, I didn't think anything of it, honestly. I know what this defensive line is capable of. I'm well aware of the depth of this defensive line. I watch it every day. I watch them compete. One of the hardest working position groups on the team, and there's just a lot of them, and we're blessed to have all of them.
And then you kind of mentioned the challenge of Clifton McDowell earlier. I want to flip it to the other side of the ball. As a former linebacker, as a defensive guy, the Montana defense is super aggressive. They let their linebackers play really freely. What are some challenges that you have seen on film that defense, especially that linebacker core, is going to offer you and your offensive line?
Yeah, they blitz, they twist, they hit things downhill, extremely aggressive. They may not be in the right fit, but how they hit things and the physicality in which they bring at the point of contact puts them in the right position. They play relentless, and you could tell they are coached to run to the ball constantly, because it's the first thing that shows up is their pursuit to the football. And if one guy misses the tackle, there's another guy there, and I think it's a sign of a great defense. I mean, you got to tackle the guy with the ball. So if you're not pursuing the hardest to the ball, you're not that good on defense. And they pursue hard of the ball. So they do a good job being physical at linebacker, and they attack you and can knock a lineman back into gaps and win the line of scrimmage.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in Frisco.
Next question from Grant Sweeter at Kello TV.
Hey, Jimmy, I'd ask the players this too, but, obviously preseason, a lot of the media thought you guys could repeat as champs, but you guys every time said one game at a time. How much do you credit, you guys obviously teaching that to them, but your players buying into that too of one game at a time and doing their job?
I credit it all to the players, because I bet you every team in the country says it. We live it. That's what we talk about. We didn't talk about the rankings. We never talked about where we were at in a win streak. We never talked about being undefeated. We don't talk about that. We talk about the team that we're playing against, and we show respect to that team and give it our best in our approach to get better on the things that we need to get better at to have success in the game, to carry out a game plan, to study, to invest time into the little details mattering at practice. That's what we put our focus on, not on exterior things that was said outside of the walls of our facility. So, yeah, I give all credit to the players, surely.
When you talk about those little details, I mean, focusing on that week in and week out, it seems like it might be a long season, but the players said it went by fast, and now all of a sudden here you are in the championship. Just to piggyback off that question, how quick does the season go by when you're focusing on those little details and making sure you're doing the little things right to get to a national championship?
I think when you're winning, creates joy, and when you have joy, things travel fast. And this season has gone by for them really fast because we've had a ton of success. Back to your initial question, the details are everything. It's stacking details which creates for the success. So, roundabout way of saying it, success equals joy, and joy, the time flies by. So we're blessed to be in this situation. I'm blessed to be the head coach here.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Last one, you talk about being blessed, but I mean, you've been blessed with a really incredible group of seniors this season, obviously what they've done at SDSU. We talked about how last week, 2 weeks ago now, was their last game at Dana J. Now this is their last game at SDSU. I mean, what has this senior group truly meant to not just this season, but obviously the legacy at SDSU and what they've done in their career?
I think what they've done is incredible. This will be the winningest senior group in school history. I talk about this all the time with the guys, just leaving your legacy. And for me, that has nothing to do with wins and losses. That has everything to do with your individual approach to impacting the people around you. And I don't know if we will see their legacy. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully nothing changes in the next several years. And that's how you know that they left their mark, because our team will remember the experiences and that connection and what made those players great. They will mimic that to have the same type of success, because they have talent. There's a lot of people with talent. Talent is a myth. It's about how you work day in and day out to be at your best, to conquer the moments in your life, to not surrender to complacency, to be average. And this group has it. I think it's rare, but I think I'm hoping in years to come we don't drop a beat because of what this senior group has done to the individuals on this football team. That's how you could see the mark of who they are.
Thanks, Jimmy.
We'll go next to Darren Wallace from Midco Sports.
What's up, Coach? I had asked Mark about kind of his relationship with Chase and just being the head coach and being around these guys every day. Is there anything that you notice, anything that stands out to you about how they connect, being the starter and the backup, just how that relationship has maybe helped them on and off the field, and any takeaways that you've noticed from them over the past few years?
Yeah, I'd say the relationship is special and somewhat unique. I think it takes maturity on both ends. For one, Mark is just a great leader, but I think Chase is a leader and with how he carries himself too. He understands right now his role. He works extremely hard, mentally and physically, to be the best version of himself he can be, and he celebrates his teammate. His teammate just happens to be Mark Konowski. So, yeah, I give a ton of credit to Chase because he's a phenomenal talent, and I'm excited to see him in the next couple of years. Because he's a winner as well. And I think it's unique to have that friendship, just because when you work at this day in and day out, you can get so competitive that the friendship gets lost, and it's a maturity thing for both of those guys to know that they're in this together for the right reasons, which is the team and the team success. And so we're just blessed to have individuals like that in this program, because we have many of them like that. It's just not those two.
Right. Speaking of great individuals, I think, even being a defensive guy, I'm sure, you'll be the first to admit that the big guys up front can do a lot for not just an offense, but really for the whole team. I'd asked Mason about kind of just the 605 Hogs, what it means to be a part of that group, and just how, the offensive line carries itself and prides itself on being such a successful unit. What can you say about just how they set the tone for the offense, how they set the tone for the defense as well, and just how they really kind of galvanize the team week in and week out? I mean, even after last game, I'd mentioned that, Garrett seemed really hyped up. It seemed like every time the guys were coming off the field, they were just amped up to just keep taking it to Albany again and again. So can you just speak a little bit to that group and how important they are to the team?
Yeah, I think they're extremely selfless. They work really, really hard at their craft, and they devote a lot of time to it. And this group has been together now for 2 full seasons. And continuity is a big thing in college football, and to have your whole starting O-line come back after winning the national championship the year prior, it's a recipe for success. I love to watch them work on a day-to-day basis. Everybody gets to see them play on Saturday, but how that group is trained, how that group pushes itself, led by the leaders in that group. It's been really fun to see, because we got a lot of young guys that are going to be coming up that have a special talent, but I just got done talking about that. They can be talented, but they need to learn how to work and be physical and grind through the tough times. And this group, this O-line, kind of sets the stage for that moving forward.
And then last one for you. I know during the season you talked about, your bye week is kind of your improvement week, but now, it'll be, I think 2 or 3 weeks since the last time you actually stepped on a field. And obviously you guys are used to it, having been in this situation last year. But just in terms of continuity, how do you take maybe the approach from last season and kind of apply it to this season, or maybe what's been different about this year, having the time off, getting ready for a game, when the last time you played was a few weeks ago after you just played, 9, 10, 11 consecutive games. How do you kind of readjust and regroup and make sure you start fast on game day?
Yeah, the schedule is very similar to what we did last year. There's tweaks here and there, but nothing that's worth explaining. In a couple, less periods at practice, we have an older team. I got to keep them fresh. We got to keep them healthy. But how we practice hasn't changed. When we compete a lot of times versus each other. It's extremely physical. It's competition at the highest level, and that's how we get better, honestly. That's what we just got done doing for several days in a row. And we're going to turn our focus to truly Montana prep and the details that will go into that in order to have success in this game.
All right, thanks, Coach. Best of luck. Appreciate it.
All right, we are nearing the end of our hour here, so just would ask that those who have requested to ask questions just ask one so we can get through everybody, and then we'll go from there. Thank you. We'll go to Craig Haley.
Thank you. Coach, thank you for your time. Hearing you talk about the legacy through the years of this program, just at some point, your program went from being the hunter to being the hunted, and maybe it was like a seamless transition. You don't even recognize it happening. But what is similar and what is different about those two dynamics, the hunter and the hunt and being the hunted?
But you feel like you're hunting every day. I mean, I think that's, if you're a competitor and you understand what it takes to win, you don't discredit the losses because you can learn a ton from losing. This program has felt the heartache of that for years, and to look past those losses or not find the fine detail in how you could have got better, you've wasted that opportunity, and I don't really think that the mentality changes. You're hunting your best. And that's the most important part, is trying to draw the best out of yourself on a daily basis so you can have the most success and give your best to the football team. And I think it's fairly simple. I don't think it's always easy because we're all humans, but if it means enough to you, you can find it. And I feel like this team has that. They have an edge to them. I think you could see it in how we play. There's a confidence. That confidence was built through getting through adversity. And we have a lot of guys returning on this team. And I can tell you this, they were not highly recruited, not highly sought after, and they've earned every bit of what they've gotten in their time here. And so, yeah, they don't feel like they've arrived. I can promise you that.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck.
I'll go to Andrew Holton for the next question.
Hey, Jimmy, this will be Adam Bach's last game in an SDSU uniform. What do you think has made him, one of the best to play linebacker at SDSU?
Well, Adam Bach isn't done yet. But, yeah, he's one of the best to ever play here, for sure. It's his work habits, it's his study habits, it's I think he might have mentioned it earlier. He's fanatical about improving, and he doesn't get complacent. I think that's a rare trait. Credit to his parents. They did an unbelievable job of just raising a good person, great student, someone who's not afraid to fail. And he works extremely, extremely hard, physically, mentally. Just he's the total package. And I'm excited to get him back again one more year, although you guys thought he was done.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
We'll go to Chris Shad with the Brookings Register for the next question.
Hey, Jimmy. I know you talked about Junior Bergen a little bit in Montana's special teams, but your special teams have had a slew of big plays during the postseason as well. How have they as a group impacted your team, not just in the playoffs, but all season long, coming up with those big plays to flip games?
Yeah, I think our special teams have improved drastically, not just from last year to this year, but consistently throughout the season. We've gotten better and better, and credit to Coach Cashmore. He's done a really, really good job as far as developing a scheme that makes sense and being able to make tweaks here and there without it being too much for the guys. And our guys take pride in it. It's a third of the game. And in that third of the game, there's only so many opportunities, and that group has really bought into maximizing their opportunity, and it just has shown out lately in the playoffs. Matt Durance's block punt, and you guys see those things. We just look at the fine details of small wins, and the explosive plays have been huge as of late. Tucker Large has been great all season, though. So in many ways, we've improved, and I'm really proud of that. Really proud of Coach Cashmore. Really proud of just the overall effort and buy-in of everybody on the football team that is a part of the special teams units.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Tanner Castora is next.
Hey, Coach. Going back to something that you said during your opening statement about how the guys had a much-needed break over Christmas. For you, anyone who's gotten to know you will quickly realize your intensity and how football truly is at the forefront of your mind. Knowing that you have this huge game in front of you, was it difficult for you to kind of compartmentalize and get away from things over Christmas? Or was that something that was easy, or something you struggled with to kind of take a break yourself?
No, I took a couple days spending time with my family and my extended family. So, yeah, I took a couple days and we got back to it shortly after. But I think there's a need at times to separate yourself from the day-to-day, and I was able to do that, and, yeah, it was positive.
Gotcha. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Go next to Coulter Nunez.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking a minute. If there's one factor you point to in this game that maybe is above the others when it comes to matching up with Montana, what do you think that factor is?
Say that question again.
What do you think will be the primary factor in this game, or what do you think is maybe the most important element of the matchup?
I don't know. I think they're all pretty important. Winning the line of scrimmage, playing great on special teams, tackling well on defense, not giving up explosive plays, creating explosive plays, staying on blocks, winning the line of scrimmage when running the football, winning your one-on-one opportunities. There's so many things that make an outcome of a game. To put my finger on one, they're all important, and we need to make sure we're locked into doing our jobs in order to have success as a team. So I think last game, it was a three-phase win. We played great in all ways, and we need to continue to do that into this game. And it's not going to be easy. We know that.
Final question. We'll go to Ian Sachs with Kello TV.
Hey, Coach. How have your expectations for your first season, now that you're nearing the end of it, differed from what you were expecting, say, maybe a year or so ago, or at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, my expectations haven't changed. This is what we sought out to do, and we did it. And we got one more game to finish the game, the objective. So that's kind of what we're locked into. Yeah.
Have you or a loved one been charged or accused of a crime? If so, the stress can leave anyone feeling helpless and alone. But you don't have to be alone. Hi, I'm Dave Maldonado, and I've successfully defended Montanans for over a decade in these situations. So if you're tired of being scared, let's get you prepared. To see how, visit BigSkyDefender.com today.
You are not alone. Visit BigSkyDefender.com to find out more on how you can fight back against local and federal criminal charges.